Welcome back to my channel Criminology and Forensic Science, where science meets crime. What turns a trace of blood into proof? What transforms a single fingerprint into a conviction? It's not just the science, it's the principles behind the science that give forensic science its power. In today's video, we are going to explore the 6 foundational principles that guide every forensic expert in their pursuit of the truth, and how these rules ensure that evidence speaks louder than speculation. The law of individuality is the first and most fundamental principle of forensic science. It states that every object, whether natural or man-made, has unique characteristics. No two things in the world, not even identical twins, are completely the same. For example, every fingerprint is different. Every bullet fired from a gun has microscopic markings unique to that weapon. Even two pieces of fabric from the same roll may have slight differences under magnification. This principle ensures that forensic scientists can match a trace of evidence like a shoe print, strand of hair, or fiber to a specific individual or source. It is the reason why we say every criminal leaves behind something that belongs only to them. Formulated by Edmund Locard, the principle of exchange is often summarized as every contact leaves a trace. According to this principle, when two objects come into contact, for example, a suspect and a crime scene, there will always be an exchange of materials. The criminal may leave something behind, like hair or fingerprints, and take something away, like fibers from a victim's clothes. This is why even the smallest details, a footprint in the mud, a smudge of lipstick, a loose thread, can be powerful pieces of evidence. Forensic experts are trained to recognize and recover these invisible exchanges, revealing connections that would otherwise go unnoticed. The law of progressive change emphasizes that everything changes with the passage of time, including the evidence, the crime scene, and even the criminal. Blood decays, fingerprints may smudge, bodies decompose, a criminal may change their appearance or try to destroy evidence. Time alters everything. This principle serves as a powerful reminder. The sooner the investigation begins, the more reliable the evidence will be. It urges forensic teams to act swiftly, preserve scenes carefully, and document everything immediately before critical clues are lost forever. The principle of comparison teaches us that you can only identify something by comparing it to a known standard. In forensics, this means that if you find a fingerprint at the crime scene, it has to be matched against a suspect's fingerprint to confirm identity. The same goes for bullets, handwriting, tire marks, or DNA profiles. Evidence alone means little unless there is something to compare to it. This principle highlights the importance of collecting reference samples such as blood from a suspect or a test bullet from a seized gun. Without a comparison, a forensic expert cannot make conclusions but only observations. The principle of analysis states the quality of analysis can never exceed the quality of the sample. In other words, poor quality evidence leads to poor results. If a fingerprint is too smudged or if a sample is contaminated, the best forensic expert or technology cannot produce accurate outcomes. That's why proper collection, packaging, and preservation of evidence is critical. A fingerprint lifted with dirty tape or a blood sample exposed to sunlight may be rendered useless. This principle reinforces a critical rule: respect the evidence or risk losing the truth. Finally, the law of probability acknowledges a harsh truth of forensic science. Most identifications are based on probability, not absolute certainty. When a forensic scientist says that two samples match, they usually mean there is a very high probability that they come from the same source. For example, a DNA test might say there is a 1 in 1 billion chance that the DNA belongs to anyone else. This principle reminds us that forensic science deals in likelihoods, not guesses, but scientifically calculated probabilities. It's what allows evidence to be trusted, even though it's not always 100% definitive. These six principles form the backbone of every forensic investigation. They ensure that truth is not based on opinion but on observation, logic, and science. Whether it's a tiny fiber or a full DNA profile, forensic science turns silent clues into powerful evidence, guided by principles that have stood the test of time. If you found this helpful, drop a like, hit subscribe, and comment below. Which forensic principle do you think is most important?